And I don't mind that they support Mitt Romney as far as that's concerned because I know what's going on behind the scenes. It's not just this secret meeting that they had, which is, of course, really funny and cartoonish and Mickey Mouse in a way. That's a whole different other story. And I know why they also supported him. It's not just because of the fact that they sat down with him in the secret meeting and Mitt Romney supposedly promised them not to be too harsh. Please, Daddy, don't whip us too hard. Promised them that he's going to somehow enact an ENDA through executive order and try to get the teabagging Congress to go along with it. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, you're going to need Congress. And if you have a Republican controlled Congress, how is that going to happen? Explain that to me. Now, here's the thing. I don't mind that they're doing this, and I know why they endorse him. It's not just because of this secret meeting that they had and everything's fine and dandy with the ENDA thing, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. But I think what also happened in that meeting was a revelation that Mitt Romney doesn't really support the federal marriage amendment. He hadn't had a secret meeting, obviously, because he didn't want to piss off Brian Fisher and Tony Perkins. Because Brian Fisher and Tony Perkins, or Ren and Stimpy, they are very anti-gay. And if they found out about this secret meeting, which is all over the news now, yeah, they're not really happy. And I think Brian Fisher, he came out on Twitter, he was like, oh no, this is really bad. That stupid yokel. The thing is that Mitt Romney doesn't support the federal marriage amendment. He doesn't. The reason why is because he's a Mormon. And he will lie to any group to get all the votes that he needs to be president. He lied to Brian Fisher and Tony Perkins. He lied to their faces. Said, yeah, don't worry, I am going to support the marriage amendment. Which he doesn't. He can't support it because he's a Mormon. The reason why is because it's a federal marriage amendment. Now, the state of Utah, the capital of Mormonism, has a similar marriage amendment, but, hello, the members of the state legislature of Utah, they're all Mormons, and they can easily repeal the amendment if they need to enact polygamy, if that is what's going to happen. So, I mean, you had Orrin Hatch come out. Remember Orrin Hatch, the Utah U.S. Senator, Mormon. You had John Huntsman, Michael Hewitt, former governor of Utah, saying he's not in favor of the marriage amendment. Why aren't they in favor? Because it's a federal it's a federal amendment. It's going to be really difficult to repeal it if, in case later on in the future, the Mormons get what they want. Not all Mormons. I mean, I'm talking about the hierarchy, the elite, the creme of the creme of the Mormon church, because they want polygamy. And they're using this argument, it's our religious freedom, it's religious liberty. That's why you hear that phrase all the time. Oh, it's religious freedom. Who's supporting that? Who brought that into the stage? It's the Mormon church. Because they're behind all these right-wing conservative movements like the John Birch Society full of Mormons. CPAC full of Mormons. This is where they're trying to get polygamy at least legitimized. And you saw that I brought up this operative who went to a conference about a month ago. And I brought this up on the show previously, that this operative went to a conference. He's a Mormon. And he said, oh, wait a minute. Polygamy is way better than gay marriage. Now, that's the argument now. Because at least with polygamy, you can have children. You can reproduce. Well, polygamy is not really about that. Polygamy is subversion, slavery, basically, because that's what you get when you have all these wives serving you. Okay? You have incest too. You had fathers marrying their grandkids and all that. The head of the Mormon polygamist camp or colony would marry his own grandchild. And there are many stories, many reports that you can read online. I don't have to go one by one on them. But you get my drift, and I hope you do, why the log cabin Republicans support Mitt Romney and have endorsed him. Because they know, and probably most likely they were told in secret, because they had a secret meeting already. And we have that posted up on the GaryReport.net if you want to look that up. I bet you any amount of dollars that Mitt Romney or somebody from the campaign in that meeting told them, you know what, Mittens doesn't really care for the marriage amendment. Because all of his Mormon buddies don't want it. They don't want it. For now, they're just trying to legitimize polygamy. That's their goal right now, is to legitimize it, say, hey, with polygamy, at least you can have children, you can reproduce, you can, do all that shit. Something that gay people cannot do. That's their argument now. And every time you bring up gay marriage, because this is a really big issue now. And it shouldn't be a big issue. It should be a simple issue. But because they made it into a big issue, now their argument is, every time you bring up gay marriage, what do they say? Oh, well, if you're going to legalize gay marriage, why not legalize polygamy? As if that has anything to do with gay marriage. Why? Because we've already seen polygamy in this country. And the only people that want polygamy are Mormons. That's it. So you'll see in these conservative circles these arguments. And who brought these arguments to the fold? Who brought these arguments to the table? Who created these arguments? The LDS Church. Because they're trying to legitimize polygamy, at least in a polite conversation in political circles. And they're trying. They're trying very hard. For now, of course, Utah had to ban gay marriage through a constitutional amendment in the state constitution. One man, one woman, I think it was. But the legislature can, at any moment, repeal that amendment, and they can. And the federal marriage amendment is going to take years to repeal a marriage amendment. You're going to have to convince all the other states who don't want polygamy. So it's a lot easier to just ban polygamy in a way by proxy through the marriage amendment to ban gay marriage at the Utah state level, because then you can just easily repeal it once the cohorts of the reactionary LDS Church say, God has spoken to the prophet and he has said that we once again must practice polygamy. And it can happen at any moment. So that's my take on that, why they endorsed Mitt Romney. But what is becoming annoying to me, and it's really fucking bothering me, is that the gay conservatives are trying too hard to convince gay non-conservatives that they're cool, that they're in the clique, that they are, that they're part of the new world order of the Republican Party. When in fact, in reality, the Republican Party is going extremely to the right. More reactionary, more fascist. You even have evangelicals saying that it's not just me. You had Christians saying that the Republican Party becoming too anti-gay, too anti-women, too. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying that because I'm not a Republican. I don't really care about that party. But now I have to because it's trying to gain power in the Senate, and they're trying to push this stupid reactionary agenda. And it's not about the economy. No, they say, oh, well, the Republicans are going to fix the economy. They're going to get jobs. No, fuck that shit. Both parties work for the same creme of the creme elite, Club 400 of the Wall Street criminal cartel. They work together. They don't give a shit about the economy. Because if they did, we would have been fixed already. Republicans would have worked together with Democrats, just like what Mitt Romney stated several times. Oh, in my state, I work with the Democrats, and his little fantasy la la land. But gay conservatives, stop trying too hard to convince us that the GOP is now gay friendly and that there's nothing wrong with being a gay conservative. Don't do that. That's not where you need to go to try to convince anything or anybody about anything. Your convincing should be aimed towards the Republican Party itself. Instead of wasting your energy on gay liberals and I don't know what, I think they get either, I don't know, a laugh or they get off on trying to argue with gay liberals and they go back and forth, and it's really boring, by the way. But they get off on this shit. They go after gay liberals and they say, you gay liberals are shit, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we have Ann Coulter on our side. Like, they're trying to piss people off. I mean, that's what really gay conservatives are. Gay conservatives are pretty much provocateurs. That's what they are. They want to provoke instead of trying to change people's minds. And they haven't. I mean, 20% of them, 20% of the gay community is going to vote for Romney. That's the exact same amount of people that voted for Bush, isn't it? More gays voted for McCain than they are going to vote for Romney. What does that tell you? It's not working in your favor. But the thing is, if you want to convince anybody of anything, you should try to convince your own people, conservatives, not to be so anti-gay. That's where you need to. That's where all of your energy and your confrontative tactics should be aimed at. Is at your own party. Who cares what gay liberals say? Why do you care? You should be working with. I mean, isn't that what they're supposed to be doing? We're working within the party to change it. Well, work within the party to change it. Stop trying to provoke other people who are not part of the party. I mean, it's really annoying. When I see these gay conservatives on Twitter, and I stop following them on Twitter because they're fucking annoying. And when there's like an anti-gay Republican activist out there or an anti-gay senator, they don't go after that guy. They just leave him alone. But when you have a pro-gay Democrat or a liberal or a moderate or an independent saying something good about the gay community, they go after that guy. They attack him. And I don't get that. Maybe it's because they just like to be bashed like that. They like to be whipped by their masters of the GOP. That's where they, that's their thing. What else can I say? But I just want to give this advice to all of you gay conservatives. Don't waste your time and your energy trying to convince people like me to go to your side, because I'll never do so. I'll never vote for a Republican, ever. And Democrats, I already gave you a chance. You fucked it all up. So there you go. I'm being very honest. And you gay Republicans should just go back and convince your party to stop being so anti-gay. That's where you should focus your energy. Not on everybody else who's not a Republican. We're not the problem. And don't try to portray that or convince yourselves or lie to yourselves. I mean, you can try to lie to me, it's not going to work. But what is really pathetic, I mean beyond pathetic, is that you lied to yourself and you convinced yourself of a lie that the Republican Party is pro-gay. You're just beyond help. Do yourself a favor and at least admit to yourself that the Republican Party, the GOP, is not pro-gay. At least admit that to yourself. Then I might consider you to be a man, a man of stature, a man of honor. And you're going to say, hey, Jose, my party is anti-gay. I'm going to work hard to make it not anti-gay anymore. Then you know what? I have no problem with that. If gay Republicans and gay conservatives were to say, look, we know that the Republican Party and the conservative movement is anti-gay. We are going to work hard to change that. So that's what we're going to focus on. And we admit to that fact, that we have a lot of work ahead of us. And it's not as easy as with the Democrats or whatever. Something like that. Admit to your reality. And once you do that, then maybe I'll take you more seriously. But now I'm not. Because you are a political patsy. Just like the gay Democrats who support Obama and all that. And even though Obama has only delivered on a couple of things, not on the entire agenda that gay activists and gay Democrats wanted. What you should do, gay conservatives, is go to CPAC, that little summit that you have every year, or is it every 2 years? I'm not sure. Go to your little CPAC convention, your conservative convention, and say, hey, we are gay conservatives. Just like you have gay Jews, conservative Jews, like Mark Levin, who shows up with his shit at CPAC. Just like you have conservative Christian groups, conservative pro-whatever, quote, family groups, conservative environmentalist groups that show up at these events. You have conservative teachers groups, conservative university groups. Well, here you have a gay conservative group. Let us in and let us participate on CPAC. But they won't do it. They won't allow you to do that. So who is really your enemy here? Is it the gay liberals or the gay moderates or the gay independents? Gay independents like myself who want you to go to CPAC and be admitted into CPAC so that way you can participate and not be judged because you're gay. And that, we want gay people, whether you're Republican or Democrat or conservative or liberal, it's just all the same shit. That we want all gay people to be treated equally and fairly. Are we your enemy? Just think about it. Because if you're wondering why a lot of gay liberals and gay people in general, just even gay people who are not that political, who hate your guts, it's maybe because of something that you're doing. It's like when I was on a date, when I met this guy on the internet, he was so cute. It's a true story. And I wanted to be like, I don't know, dismissive, because I thought back then that a lot of these gay guys liked assholes. So I began to act like an asshole. And I started poking him and doing all this and becoming too out of line, let me just say that. And I basically was provoking him. And guess what happened? He got angry at me. So he wouldn't date me. anymore. That was one of my stages in life that where I was like, okay, because I was trying to find a boyfriend back then when I was 23, right after I broke up with Eddie, one of my exes. Oh, so then I became really like an asshole, just to see maybe, okay, gay guys love assholes, just like girls like assholes. Because I've been attracted to a lot of assholes in my life. A lot of assholes. So I thought the same way, and I thought wrong. And I blew it because he was very attractive, actually. He was very cute, and he was very nice. It's just I became a little bit of an asshole. And I became confrontational and all this, and very dismissive. And I had nobody else to blame but myself because of my actions. But here, you gay conservatives are not blaming yourselves for being in the faces of gay liberals and gay, well, basically non-conservatives. And be so confrontational, so vulgar in a way. I mean, look at some of the tweets that these guys say. Go on Gay Patriot, that stupid gay conservative blog, and you'll see on some of the comments on these posts, these gay conservatives are really, beyond vulgar. You thought I was vulgar? But they really hate liberals. And they do. And they hate other gays. They hate the gay community. That's one thing that's for certain. Because the gay community is liberal. So they hate that. So instead of trying to understand why the community is that way, instead of trying to open themselves up, saying, okay, let's try to understand each other here. Let's see this. They become reactionary, because that's what they are, right-wingers, confrontational, and they expect gay liberals and non-conservatives to just say, oh, okay, well, I guess you calling me an idiot and an asshole and a stupid fuck and all that shit. You calling me a mentally retarded libtard. All this is going to convince me to love you, support you, and to be a part of you. Because already your politics is saying, who cares about gay marriage and your personal economic rights that straight people enjoy, but not gay people. But that's, okay, you want us to forget all that. You want us to basically reject that gay people have economic rights. That's what you're saying. Okay, let's do that, but that's not what you're doing. Not only are you doing that, that's already bad enough. You're saying, well, you're telling us fuck this, and then you're gonna flip us off right it on our face to give us the finger. Tell us to go fuck ourselves. That's why a lot of gay people are angry at you, calling you Uncle Toms and all this, because you expect us to understand you, and if we can't, because you're too hard like a rock to open up, then don't blame us. Don't blame us. It's your fault for not communicating. It's your fault for basically flipping off the gay community, saying fuck you, and giving us the middle finger in our face. And then you turn around and say, well, why are gay liberals hating us? What are they? Oh, they're so hateful. They're intolerant. Well, wait a minute. I'm not here to defend gay liberals, but you're the ones that are provoking them. You're the ones that fail to understand why they're liberal. I do understand why they're liberal, because they have been, I don't want to go into that, but it goes all the way back to the 60s. You know that. You know why. That's when liberalism won the country. This is a pretty liberal country, and all this bullshit that we're a right-center country, that's bullshit. It's just cover. The reality is we are a liberal country. We have a social security system. We have a welfare, not a welfare system anymore. That's gutted. It's over. Bill Clinton destroyed welfare. So there's no such thing as welfare moms or any of that crap. It doesn't exist anymore. But we used to have a social safety net. We still have most of it. You know, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and all that stuff. We ended the Vietnam War. We stopped the conscription or the draft. And, you know, a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened that made the American culture more liberal. Women have more rights. Women are able to go into the workplace and be managers and CEOs and all that. Gays were able to come out of the closet. It became a liberal country. But you conservatives lost. You lost. And that's why, if you look at why conservative talk show is popular, supposedly, yeah, what's popular, and the ratings, it's not because you're winning. It's because the majority of Americans don't care anymore. The majority of Americans don't listen to talk radio. Only conservatives who are always in these in this bunker mentality, in this war mentality against the American people. That's their mentality, is to be against the American people, to work against their economic rights, to work against them. That's what conservatives are doing. This conservatism is a whole new revival. It's a whole new shit. It's nothing compared to, they're trying to compare themselves to Jefferson and Lincoln. You know, Lincoln, he was against most of the things that you're doing today. Lincoln was for the Union. And now you have these teabaggers, conservatives, saying, oh, wait a minute. We wanted to secede from the Union. Texas wanted to secede. And now they're talking about Arizona seceding from the Union. The Confederates are still here. They're still bitter and they hate it. That's why they're so popular, because, well, that's why they get ratings in conservative talk radios, because they are so bitter and they're so hateful of the American system, is that they're willing to have shows and they're willing to have a lot of people listen to those shows who are just like them, reactionary, angry, desperate. So what do? Is they'll form these platforms, and these platforms become really popular with that niche. If you go to the online stats of websites, like who gets the most, like what kind of sector of the internet gets the most hits and page views, porn. But does that mean that the overwhelming majority of America are porn addicts? No, that doesn't mean that. It's a niche. It gets almost all of the big ratings and the big page views and hits on the internet are adult websites. They get all the hits. But does that mean that everybody in America is addicted to porn and watches porn all day? No. Now, Rush Limbaugh gets a lot of ratings, sure. But does that mean that the majority of Americans are like Rush Limbaugh? No. Now, if you really want to gauge who's really winning what, just, you know, you want to see, well, if you're going to measure and say, engage, or get a pulse on what the American population is thinking and what they're watching and what they're listening to, and you're saying, well, Rush Limbaugh has a lot of ratings, he's number 2, number 1, whatever. Well, actually, Howard Stern is number 1. I think he is. Let's say Rush Limbaugh, okay, he's number 1 in talk radio, political talk radio. And then you're going to say, well, Fox News, they're number 1 in cable news. You know, they get what, like, I don't know how many they get. They get like 3 million or 2 million viewers. Let's say 2 million viewers every night. MSNBC gets 1 million. CNN gets less than 1 million. But what you're not seeing is that Fox News is Fox News. Rush Limbaugh is Rush Limbaugh. Fox News is only one outlet for conservatism. Take a look at other programming besides Fox News or besides cable news. Look at what people are watching. What are they watching on television? They're watching programs like Family Guy, which gets what? 5 million viewers every day when they have a new episode. Watch The Simpsons. They watch American Dad. Seth MacFarlane is really popular on Fox, not on Fox News, right? Seth MacFarlane Productions. All these cartoons. The Family Guy, American Dad, and then you have The Simpsons, and then you have all these other cartoons. And then you have other shows like, well, the reality shows don't really count. They're just reality shows. But like other programming, you have The New Normal, which I didn't really like, but it's up there. It's getting good ratings, a little bit. Then you have Modern Family on ABC. And all these shows, what do they have in common? They're liberal shows. And if you combine all of them, they totally outweigh Fox News' ratings. How about Jon Stewart? He gets a lot of ratings too. He gets about 1 million, 2 million almost every night, close to what Bill O'Reilly gets. Jon Stewart, then you have Stephen Colbert. He gets a good chunk of that too. But if you look at all the programming that has any political implications or messaging, Seth MacFarlane is a liberal guy. He's for gay marriage and women's right to choose and all that. I'm not here to say that everything that liberals say and do is perfect. No, I'm not their apologist. I'm not. But I am here to deliver a message. So don't try to kill the messenger here. Is that basically liberals have won. Look at the ratings of all liberal programming or programming that has an ounce of liberalism. They totally outweigh Fox News 10-1. All right? That's what it is. And they try to get conservative programming. That's what that PAX network was all about. This like totally, Christian family programming, and gets no ratings at all. No ratings whatsoever. The Disney Channel or Disney, they don't come out with conservative movies or conservative shows, or they don't. They're usually politically neutral or leaning towards liberal. And they do that all the time. And they get ratings. Gee, why is that? Because the country culturally is liberal. There you go. But that doesn't mean that the voting bloc has to be the same. That's the problem, is that most of the country are enjoying the liberal culture. We are enjoying this new state of being versus the past where we had monarchies and reactionary monarchies and total dictatorships and all that in the past. Feudalism, all that stuff. Now we have liberty, freedom. We have liberalism. The act of trying to have freedom in this country is an act of liberalism in itself. It's liberating. But the conservatives are loud because they have lost the war. They lost the battle. It's over. So that's really my take on this. But what's going on is a lot of Americans are asleep. They don't care. They don't vote. They don't give a shit. And then later on they complain, well, why are they taking away my Medicare? Why are they taking away Medicaid? Why are they taking away my food stamps? Well, because you don't give a shit. So there you go. So that's why I don't really take gay conservatives that seriously, because what are they doing actually? What are, well, what's the meaning of their existence? Now you're gonna have to question that. Seriously. If you are a gay conservative, you might have to question your existence, not as a human being, but as a gay conservative or a gay Republican. Can you just be a gay American? Like you're always asking gay liberals, or gay people in general. You ask gay people, you say, well, gay people shouldn't, wear the gay label on your sleeve. You're not just gay. You're an American. Well, can we do that to you as well? You're not just a conservative, right? You're an American. But no, you can't do that. You have to put your conservatism first and have it on your sleeve. That's what you do. That's your MO. You're asking others to do something that you yourself won't do. Do as I say, but not as I do. The fact is that a lot of people like me, we are sick and tired of fanaticism and extremism on both sides. We know what the solutions are. Both sides don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. And it really comes down to egos in many ways. And that's why I think many gay conservatives are gay conservatives, because they don't really approve of what the message is or the platform of the Republican Party or the CPAC or any of that. They don't really agree with it. They don't really care. What they're in it for is for the ego. Same reason why a lot of gay liberals or gay people might become activists and join these groups and become, the head honchos of these groups and, become presidents of whatever. Equality this group, equality that group, whatever. But I think you're doing it more for your ego. Because you really want to tell people, look at me, I'm different. Look at me, I'm not like those gays. I have a better sense of who I am and all that crap, which you don't. I don't even know who I am. Not much. I know what I believe in, I know what I read, I know what I study, I know what I research, I can tell you things that I know. But to tell you who I really am, I'm not there yet. So why are you so sure of yourselves? Why are you saying, I'm a gay conservative. I am going against the grain here. Oh, I am so special. Well, you're not. You're just any guy that wants to get attention. You know what I mean? That's the reason. I mean, to be honest with you, that's the reason why Jimmy LaSalvia and Chris Barron formed Go Proud, I think. They were not getting the attention that they wanted, and Log Cabin, even that wasn't enough for them. They wanted their own little gig. They wanted Ann Coulter to show up and provoke the gay community and say, look, we're with her now. Look at us. Ooh, look at us. We are peeing in the punch bowl. That's what they're doing. So what we're doing is we're just trying to basically understand the mind of a gay conservative. And it's not because I want to insult them. This is not, I have no political gain in trying to understand them. I'm just trying to understand them. But I'm not here to insult them. Gay liberals might attack them. Well, some of them feel because they have to. Because Go Proud and these gay conservatives, they come out and they basically insult everybody. I mean, that's what they do sometimes. I remember an article a while ago, I think it was a year ago, or was it in 2010? I don't know when it was. that Go Proud had this little martini party or something like that. It had about a couple hundred people there. No, it wasn't HomoCon. It was something else. But it was at Washington D.C. And then this member of the group said, I hate being gay. I really do hate. That's what he said. That he hates gay people and he hates being gay. So, that gay people really bothered him, and he's gay himself. So obviously he has issues with that, but you have to understand why a lot of gay liberals and just gay people in general. I mean, I'm not even saying that gay liberals are attacking gay conservatives. It's even non-political or apolitical gay people, which is, I think, the majority of the gay community is apolitical. That's what we are. But even the apolitical side of the gay community, they're fed up with gay conservatives. They can't stand the annoyance, the in-your-face attitude, the arrogance, the trying to flip us off in our face. Doing all that kind of stuff. Instead of you working within the Republican Party and saying, look what we're doing. We're changing the politics of this party. Even though that's what you're claiming to do, and we don't see any evidence of that. There's no data to support that. You might point to Richard Tsai, that guy who's running for Congress in Massachusetts, a Republican gay candidate. And he might even win. But look at this. Or actually listen to this. Now, if Richard Tsai were to win, would that actually change the whole game? It's not. Because Richard Tsai knows as much as I know, as much as what John Boehner knows. This is the reason why John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, that Republican pig, the reason why he supports Richard Tsai is because Richard Tsai and John Boehner is campaigning for him. It's because Richard Tsai is going to vote for John Boehner to be Speaker of the House. The same John Boehner that doesn't want gay marriage to be allowed, doesn't believe in economic rights for gay couples, he doesn't believe in anything to support and protect the gay community and its rights. So what does that translate to is that he's going to do what he's told to do. Unless he's willing to say, no, I'm going to break with party lines. I'm going to challenge my party. And if they don't, I don't care what they do to me. I don't care about the consequences, because there are consequences if you don't vote party line. The consequences are that you won't be able to get any leadership roles, no chairmanship, no nothing in the Congress. You're not going to be able to move up the ladder. You're going to stay as a regular Joe Schmo Republican congressman. That's what you can do. And so his ability to change anything within the Republican Congress is going to be so limited. Very limited. Because he will be placed, I don't want to say this. Well, okay, I'll say it. He's going to be put in his place. He's going to be spanked if he goes out of line. He's going to be disciplined by the Republican majority in Congress. They're going to say, you can't be doing this. You can't be challenging us, because if you do, spank. We're going to smack you across the face and spank you really hard. So don't expect anything from there. Don't. And things are not really going to change. And that's really what is the deal here. These gay Republicans, these gay conservatives are mad and angry at us. But yet, when they try to do something for the gay cause, they totally collapse. They totally collapse. And people say, well, the Log Cabin Republicans, they've sued for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell and all that. Yeah, but that didn't really affect anything. It didn't. They can say that. But the reality of facts would actually say something different. The Pentagon really wanted repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell to happen. The Pentagon, the brass, the top management, the generals, they wanted this repeal to happen because there was so many problems with it. Because there were people that were being blackmailed, coerced, harassed, generals and lieutenants that were being harassed, that were being blackmailed. And that's why they wanted to get rid of it. And they were actually bleeding from this policy. And there were many reasons why the Pentagon really wanted to repeal this. And it was their decision to repeal it, and they forced the hand of Congress to do so at the very last minute in 2010. So you can point to whatever you want to point at, you gay Republican or gay conservative. It's just, the thing is, it's not that we expect you to do a lot more or as equal to what gay liberals are doing, to try to get Congress to pass this and that. Well, that's not what really we are, at least for me and independents like me. We don't expect you to be better or at equal strength with the gay liberals as to try to pass any legislation in Congress or anywhere else. That's not what we're saying. Don't tell it. We're not here to say, hey, you cannot pass shit. That's not what really grinds my gears with you. What really grinds my gears with gay Republicans is that they think that they have already won. And they have this attitude that, that people who are not conservative, who don't think like them, they don't understand. And they don't get it. And fuck you and, flip us off and all that shit. And have this arrogant attitude and insulting people and becoming confrontational and all that. Attacking non-conservatives. Where your real MO, it should be confronting those like Tony Perkins and Brian Fisher and Linda Harvey and all these other airheads and doofuses who are saying stupid shit about gay people. They're insulting you. Look, gay Republicans and gay conservatives, look at this. Brian Fisher said that gay people are Nazis. Basically, that you are a Nazi. Linda Harvey says that gay people are Satanists. What she's saying is that you are a Satanist. Tony Perkins says that gay people are pedophiles. Basically saying that you are a pedophile. But yet you never challenge these people. You never attack them. You never put the heat on these people. Instead, you go after gay liberals, like if they're the ones that are saying this shit about you. Your priorities are all screwed up and backwards. And, and I like the fact that they bring up this thing about the Muslims, right? The Muslims, wait a minute. Why do liberals, as if gay liberals support this? I mean, I have many gay liberal friends, and they don't support this at all. They think that all liberals support what Muslims say about gay people, and that is not really true. Now, Islam is a reactionary, suppressive, in my opinion, anti-human religion. Just like many other religions that have existed who have been very reactionary and suppressive of any of the Enlightenment ideas that have basically supported the human race and its progressive path. That's my own opinion. I don't really care if you're Muslim. But they're saying that Muslims are anti-gay and that they kill gay people, which is true. I mean, that's what happens in Iran and Indonesia. It happens in Saudi Arabia. It happens in many Middle Eastern countries and all that, Asian countries, where gay people are being executed for being gay by Muslims. But what about those in America that are proclaiming and wanting the capital punishment for homosexuality? Why aren't these gay Republicans going after them as well? We can easily go after the ayatollahs, the imams, and all these reactionary, because they are basically these Muslims are, by the way, if they don't understand their geopolitics, these Muslims that they are pointing at, that they're anti-gay, that they execute gay people and execute those who support gay people, they are conservatives. They are reactionary and right-wing. They belong in your camp. But since we can point at the other, we can say, look, these other people in these other countries are doing this shit. Why? That's a real problem. That's a real threat. Islamofascism. I understand that point. Yes, if Islamofascism came to America, it would be a very huge problem. I mean, look at what's going on in Europe. A lot of gay people are being attacked by these Muslims and all that, and in Africans too. But we don't want to point to that. The problem in Europe is that we have so many immigrants going into Europe and to the UK, and they're bringing these homophobic viewpoints. That's also a problem, because Europe is too mammy-pamby. They give way to a lot of these immigrants and Muslims, and they let them do whatever they want. Almost. But that's for another show. That's for another story. But they're pointing at these Muslims like the Muslims are the problem. But they're not. In this country, no, they're not. If we focus on in this country, unless you want to focus outside the country, you want to say, look at what's going on in Iran with all these Muslims. And I said, well, what do they believe in? What's their political ideology? Is it liberal, left-leaning, independent, moderate? Is it center-right? Is it libertarian, what they're doing? Or is it right-wing, reactionary, fascist? The same camp that many in your base belong to. And that's what they don't get. Or maybe they do get it, but they don't want to go there. But what about those who are in the country who are actually advocating for the execution of gay people, the capital punishment for homosexuality? What do you say to those people, you gay Republicans? What do you say to them? You say, don't do that. Don't. Do you even attack them? Do you even know who they are? Because I know who they are. There are many Christian pastors and ministers who worked for many of these Republican campaigns, like the Ron Paul campaign, the Rick Santorum campaign, and the Newt Gingrich campaign, and the Kane campaign. Remember that guy, Kane? The pizza guy? Well, yeah. Well, he had people in his campaign that supported the execution of gays. Why didn't the gay Republican group, Log Cabin and Go Proud, I mean, they're cousins, basically. Why didn't they come out and attack these guys? Why didn't they say, hey, we cannot work with these Muppets who support the execution of gays? Why didn't they go after Ron Paul when he recruited a minister who wants gay people to be executed by the state? Why didn't they go after Mitch McConnell and his ties with these dominionists, right-wing reactionaries who want gay people to be executed? Why didn't they go after that punk rock ministry who supports Bachmann, who support back then the GOP candidate for governor in Minnesota? Why didn't they go after that punk group who was becoming a political ally for the Republican Party? Why didn't they go after them and say, hey, that's not right what you're saying. Stop it. If they are really against the execution of gays, and their serious opposition and solution and response to this problem is to go overseas and to go after Persians and Muslims in other countries instead of the right-wing reactionary Christians in this country, then they're not being serious at all. I mean, they're bullshitting you. And it's just another talking point front that they use. Oh, that the liberals will support. Basically, what they're saying is that liberals will support the execution of gay people. Like, that's going to happen. You know, liberals might be wrong in many things, but they're not going to be that stupid. So, there you go. We are trying to understand the mind of a gay Republican, a gay conservative. And it's a really complex mind. It is. You deal with the ego part, you deal with the ideology part, you deal with the, there are so many facets and so many levels of this complexity. It's pretty hard to understand them. And I don't buy this whole thing, oh, they're self-loathing. I mean, yeah, there are a few of them that, like that guy that said that he hates gays. That gay conservative that started a controversy back then. That Go Proud member that said that he hates gay people. What he really meant was he hated flamboyant, feminine gay people. Oh, okay, that's what he meant. But still, he has a problem with that. I don't hate flamboyant, feminine gay guys. I just don't date them. It's like the fact that I don't date Asians or white guys or blacks doesn't mean that I hate these races. No, I'm friends with all of them, but it's just that I don't date them. I don't have sex with them. All right. But he has this complexity that that feminine gay people are somehow wrong or stupid or something like that. That guy is self-loathing. And you have many liberals who are self-loathing as well. I mean, they don't want to support their own agenda. They don't want to go out and attack Obama over the fact that he invaded Libya. They don't want to go after that. So self-loathing is around us in many sectors. But I think if we say that gay Republicans and gay conservatives are self-loathing, we're just throwing them a bone. We are throwing this away too easily. And when you say they're self-loathing, that's what they expect you to say. They know that. And because the reality is that that's not really what the issue is. That's not what's really going on in their heads. It's more than that. And it's not even that. They're not self-loathing. They love themselves too much. That's the real problem. They love themselves way too much. Their egos are way up there. And they think that they know. They think that the party is actually thinking like they do. Like Clark Cooper, I respect that guy. I really like that guy. But I don't really buy what he says. The fact that he thinks that the Republican Party thinks like he does. Oh, he's totally off base. He's not really meeting with reality here. And it's time to meet reality. It's going to be good for you. So I hope you take this advice, and we all learn something today. And I do every day. I learn something. I mean, 5 years ago, I could have been saying, oh, gay Republicans are this and that, But I don't really dismiss gay Republicans. I don't dismiss you. I don't dismiss you. I don't throw you away in the trash and call you self-loathing. I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to get into your head. I'm trying to open up your complexity here. Just like what I do with gay liberals. I know what they say. I know what they do, why they do what they do, and I know why they believe in what they believe in. They believe that abortion is almost the same as gay marriage, which is not. Totally different. Or they believe that gay marriage is the same as the DREAM Act, or giving away visas to immigrants. That's not the same issue.